Look at this, guys, another abandoned jug line. And that's because I'm on this canal. Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. So I'm out here today to test out this new Tenkara rod I got from Maxcatch. It is a 13-foot rod and it is a 7.3 action rod. Should be good for what we're going to be targeting today. Now this is the ICW here on the West Bank in Southeast Louisiana. So muddy is the word I was looking for. Yep, it's muddy, and it is a very popular place for people to jug for catfish. A lot of times when I come down here, I find these abandoned jugs. Actually ended up snagging a catfish that had a jug stuck in its mouth, jug line. Real excited to test out this rod today. Whoop, don't want to lose that cap. This rod came without a stop knot. It's pretty easy to put that on there though. Let's do that. All it's going to be is just a simple overhand knot. It can be a little tricky to tie because it's a very short length. Most Lillian lines are. And you want that stop knot to be really close, not much of a tag in, and that is fine right there. In this bag here is all the tackle, supplies, and everything I need. Doesn't take much to do Tenkara fishing. Reason why we're starting out on this canal is because a 13-foot rod is going to be good for big water, not so much good for little bitty places. So we're going to start out on this big water, see how it goes. There are other options. This is going to be a straight up adventure today. Here we go. Here's my line. This is a 13-foot casting line with a 4-foot tippet. The casting line is a 4.5 level line. It's that fluorescent orange line you see here. And the tippet is 5X, which means it's about 4.5 pound test. At the end of the casting line here, I have a loop, and the knot is just a simple slip knot. And we're going to take that Lillian line, put it through once through the loop, pinching it, and then put it back through the loop so it's going through there twice. And now we're going to just simply bring the slip knot up to the Lillian line. And now we want to just slip that level line up to the stopper knot on my Lillian line. Always want to be careful when you do this. You don't want to end up breaking the tip. I just have, as you see, the Lillian line sticking out, trying to keep the rest of the Tenkara rod inside the tube here. And there we go. Here we go. That's my favorite fly that we're using today. That is called a hatchie. It's a Kabari style fly, and that's a size 14 fly hook. This canal is pretty muddy today just because earlier this week it was raining, so there's a lot of pumping stations along here. They pump all the rainwater into this canal, and that's why it's muddy. The other canals below here are going to be cleaner today and shallow. So we're going to start up here. This shore that I'm starting on is kind of shallow. I can get out from this stuff behind me so I don't catch and cast along here parallel in the bank for a bit. And it's pretty stable. As you can see, you see that shell and the rock right there? It's like that out here going for a ways before I can get out a little bit further before I start getting to the soft stuff that I'm going to sink in. And this is a good place to find, you know, panfish, perch, bluegill. We call bluegill perch here. It's a good place to find them. So we're going to start here. Let's see how this cast. A little breezy on the canal. That wasn't too bad, that first cast. A little breezy up here. I'm going to move to different water as the day progresses. So we're going to get to a lower altitude, not much of a lower altitude, but enough to where the breeze is going to change. So we're a little high up here. It's a little more of a breeze up here on this canal. Seems I misspoke. My level line is not 13 feet. I thought I had a 13-foot level line. I must have brought the wrong one out. Looks like I have about a 9 to 10 foot level line. So my whole rig, including the level line and the tippet, is a little over 13 feet. I can change that. I've got material with me. I feel like I'm wasting my time up here with this dirty water. But the water is warm, so that's one thing. The river water right now is freezing. It's like 62 still. And saying that, let's change water. Found a new spot. I've got a new line on here now. My level line is now 13 feet long, and my tippet is about 4 feet. The hardest thing about targeting panfish on the fly is doing it when they're not feeding heavily. We started early, around 3 o'clock. It's already after 5 now, so we're getting close to when they should be turning on. But I've had a few swipes at this, just a couple bites from small things. Not much going on yet. Ooh, there's a gar over here. That is the most active fish right now. There's a lot of spotted gar active right in front of me, actually. Oh, here we go. Got a fish on, finally. Well, this is fighting this fish really good. I wonder what this is. I do not have my landing net, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. This is a nice size bluegill is what this is. I'm gonna grab the line. I didn't really feel the bite right away, but luckily I did set the hook properly. Got the fly still on the outside of the mouth. What a nice looking gill. Took a few hours to find, you guys. Over here in the shade. Yeah, you're right, guys. I am going to keep this one for catfish bait for later. It's a good size gill. It was some work. It was some work. I want to see if there's more. I actually wanted to fish this spot earlier, but there were people parked down here and was not sure what they were doing. There we go. That was a nice swipe. I wasn't ready though. I'd say we've found the spot. I'm gonna pound this for a while. Oh, yes, fish on. Didn't really feel the bite. I saw the bite before I felt it. It's not good. I read somewhere that this rod was good for brook trout, for brookies, which aren't big. But I did not feel that bite. I saw it before I felt it. The sensitivity of this, or the strength, is 7.3, 7.3. And I have another rod that I'm going to try out that's a big fish rod that's much stronger, and it's a 13-foot rod. It's a hellbender. Whoa, that is 11.3, which is much stronger than this, but it's a 13-footer. It's actually a zoom rod, and it is much lighter than this. I mean, it doesn't weigh nearly as much as this rod. This is a much cheaper rod in comparison to that. Maybe before inflation, this rod was maybe it was 30, I don't know. It's 50 something right now. So it probably costs 30% more than it used to, maybe, I don't know. Oh, man, I missed another fish. Missed countless, more than I'm going to show. There we go, got him. Barely felt that bite. But it is turning on, and I'm getting super tired of casting this rod, but I'm not stopping. Here's what we got. Well, there we go. Nice. I did feel that bite that time. but I was also watching the line. I'm getting the bites further out, much further than I could cast with like my 9-foot flat top rod by Regions, which I like a lot. So I am at an advantage using the 13-foot rod today. It's just the main gripe about this rod is its weight. Maybe that's what you get when you buy a $50 or it's 50 something dollar. Maybe that's what you get when you spend a little over 50 bucks on a Tenkara rod these days. Now, I would say that it doesn't seem to be cheaply made. There are much cheaper Tenkara rods that I know are junk. And I'm not going to name a company, but I know it's junk. I've got visitors. A vehicle just pulled up behind us, and I don't know what they're doing. They're just sitting there. I think people come to the end of this road here for shenanigans or whatever, afternoon delight, if you know what that is. Yeah. So it turns out it's not shenanigans, he's fishing.
Yep. Got some big gators over here.
I know, I fish here a lot. I'm not worried about gators anyway. There we go. Nice one. Oh, he doesn't want to come in. It's another nice one. Yeah, you're right. My outlook on this rod here might be changing as I start catching more fish. It's still heavy and it's not super sensitive, but it's working out. There we go. That was more like a thump than a regular bluegill bite. So far, each fish I've pulled out of here, the fly has been just on the outside. I haven't had to pull my forceps out once yet. So I am able to set the hook before they swallow it. It could also be that I had to get used to what it feels like, what a bite feels like on this rod. Sometimes it feels different from one rod to another. Here's a fish right here. Still, I would say it's not super sensitive, but I am feeling the bites now. Probably just getting used to what it feels like. That fly is almost down in there that time. See how it's just the eye, it's just barely sticking out? We might need the forceps for that one. And then came right out, super easy. There we go. Nice. Check it out. Another one on the outside. Oh, man, missed one there. There we go. Nice. They're getting smaller and smaller. Just what I dislike, but I am keeping for bait, and size doesn't always matter for bait. There we go. I saw that before. Oh, and I lost him already, but that's fine. That was just a really small one. Nice, got him. Saw the line move before I felt the bite again. That's not a bad one. It's good bait size. There we go. Oh, I just felt this little tiny bump that time. But I believe we have them hooked just right. Just on the outside. Not down in the throat, which is good. Right there in the top of the lip. Yes, nice. Whoa, felt a little thump and then we had a fish on. Yeah, another nice bait size.
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely very rewarding.
Yeah, it's more rewarding to catch them on an artificial like a fly than to. I keep them for I'm keeping bluegill for catfish. I'll go fish for catfish later on the river, either today or tomorrow. I mostly do catfish, but I'm a mixed species, multi-method kind of guy. But a lot of people subscribe to me for catfish on the Mississippi River, and they just learn to put up with the other things I do, because they know if I'm out Tenkara fishing, it probably means that if I do good, if I catch a bunch of perch, I'm going to be producing a bunch of catfish video after that. So yeah, nice. Man, I felt just this little thump all of a sudden. Didn't even see the line move. Another little bait size bluegill. All right, it is now just a little bit after 7 o'clock. Been out here for a little over 4 hours now. Plenty of catfish bait. Now it's final thought time for the Maxcatch Tenkara rod, a 13-foot 7.3. Okay, so first of all, I gotta tell you, I did not put a lot of research into choosing this rod. I did, however, research. The first choice I made was the Hellbender, and then I said, okay, we've bought an expensive one. Now let's look for a cheaper 13-foot rod that's lighter than the Hellbender that I got for bass. So I saw this, I did a little reading, I said, okay, let's try it. So I'm probably gonna do this each month, get 2 rods, one that's kind of pricey, one that's not, and tell you what I think about them. And what do I think about this? I'm not crazy about it, though. I don't think it's a great rod. I don't think it's a horrible rod either. I think it's just okay. It's a little heavy after fishing it for about 4 hours or so. My arm is a little worn out. I should have just came out here right around sunset when the fish were biting, and I probably would have been all right. So it's a little stiff for what it is. It's a little stiff, but it works a 13-foot level line great, and it's a good idea to have another 13-foot rod around, so someone like Alex, who I wish was into Tenkara fishing, can pick it up with me and fish with me without having to buy his own first. It's a teaser, right? So yeah, you're right. I think it's okay. I would not highly recommend it though, because it is kind of heavy, but it's okay for the price. A lot of these Tenkara rods that are good enough to say it's not going to fall apart real fast are not super cheap. The cheaper you go, like you start looking at Tenkara rods that are 30 bucks or even 20 something, probably not going to last you too long. With my experience with having cheaper ones in the past, just bait fishing with them, the Lillian lines on a really cheap $20 or $30 Tenkara rod tend to pop off after a little bit of use. And I don't expect that to happen with this one. So my biggest gripe is it's kind of stiff, kind of heavy, but I had fun with it. Now I'm tired. Now I'm ready to go do something else. So thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.